this is a video about one specific character and how she is just absolutely broken. And when I say broken, I mean in terms of just overpowered as hell. And this character I'm talking about here is, we'll see in a second. Load times for the beta are kind of crappy. Hopefully they improve it when the actual game comes out. But anyways, here we go. So this is Galilea. I think I'm pronouncing it right. I have no idea, honestly. But this is her overview, I guess. So she has 6 different abilities, right? Her passive is attacking while using skills accelerates her corruption, and what her corruption is it basically makes her deal more damage the more she attacks people. And then we got her weapon, which is a great sword, and she has a combo, and she hits 2 normal attacks, right, and they deal the same amount of damage, and then 4 really quick attacks and they deal the same amount of damage. And honestly, I feel like that's a little ridiculous, seeing as the quick attack doesn't deal less damage. And then she has her shield, which I don't really use, mainly because I don't need to. Shield throw. Alright, so what that does is it stuns an enemy for 2 seconds, and what that means is they're completely inept of all their abilities, and they are just literally sitting there, and you can swing at them. Alright, and then there's Desecrate, and it basically is this area of effect, and when enemies are standing in it, they take damage. And then there's her abyssal form, where she goes underground, and she can regenerate her health while she's dealing damage. Anyways, let's take a look at her helix, and what this is like the what you can do to her abilities to make her essentially better as you level up through a match, because it is a MOBA-esque type game. Anyways, so we got 2 abilities here, Calamity, Herald's Return. All this is it gives you these options between what you want to upgrade on her certain abilities, and I always pick the cooldown, because the more often I'm able to throw her shield, the more often I'm able to stun enemies, so they're completely useless. And as you level up through the match, you get more and more of these abilities that you can choose from to modify anyways. And so the reason she's so overpowered is because of, in my opinion, is her shield throw, because it makes the enemy completely useless. And another ability she has is the Mark of the Feeble. Alright, and this goes back to her shield throw, and it basically keeps people from healing, like it says, for 5 seconds. So that means any healer that's on the opposing team cannot heal someone while for 5 seconds after they've been hit. And then you can even increase her damage of her sword as well. And then there's I think this is for Desecrate, and you can have it deal increased damage or healing over time, and it's allies within the Desecrate field, so she can be considered a healer in that aspect. But I usually go for damage, since I realized that her Desecrate didn't heal her like I thought it did. And then this is for, I'm forgetting what it's called. Oh yeah, her abyssal form. And what this does is you can either increase your health regeneration per second, which on here it says it's 250 health in total, and the ability lasts for about, say, like a good 5 seconds. But anyways, so when you increase that regeneration, you basically make her more powerful and harder to take down. And then I also go for, this is another one of her shield abilities. It's called Forsaking Others. and it's when she gets her shield back after throwing it, it increases her health regeneration by 105 for 5 seconds. Over 5 seconds, it actually says. And honestly, it's kind of ridiculous because you can stun someone, and when they get out of that stun, they'll be trying to kill you, and you're consistently healing. And then there's another ability, the Duelist, and it increases the damage of her sword after she threw her shield. So when you stun someone, she doesn't have her shield anymore, and then you can hit them for increased damage. And then this is for the Desecrate field. You can either slow them down or increase your own movement speed. I usually go for the slowdown because, again, it really kind of makes the enemy inept. And then after throwing her shield, oh no, this is actually during the shield. You got two options here: increase damage of the shield throw, or increase movement speed after you throw the shield, or hitting a target with the shield. And I usually go for the movement speed because, I don't know, it's good to get out of places. And then there's this, and this is when you reach level 10. It's pretty difficult to reach level 10 in a match. Usually the match will finish by then, or you might not have a round good enough to. But what was I saying? Okay, so there are two options here. Galilea becomes fully corrupt during the abyssal form, and then this other one where it increases the movement speed while she's in her abyssal form, and it increases the area of effect. So this whole corrupt thing, it's pretty ridiculous, because what it'll do is, when Galilea is corrupt, it first of all increases her damage, right? And then it also increases, she gets healed every second. I forget the number or the amount, while she's, corrupted. So she does increased damage, she can heal herself while she's in the corrupted form. And then another thing is her ability will throw out purple balls of energy, and with one swipe it's one ball, and then the second swipe it's another one ball, and then she does her combo that I was talking about earlier, and that shoots out 4 balls of energy. And this is ranged. This is a ranged attack on a melee character. So what I usually do is I hit someone with the shield, they're stunned for 2 seconds, I sit there and hit them, right? And while I'm doing that, I'm becoming corrupt, and then I will use Desecrate and slow them down, so they have an even harder time to get away. All the meanwhile, I'm hitting them with my sword, and then usually by then I'm fully corrupt and they're kind of getting far away from me, and I swing my sword and it shoots one of those balls of energy, and I can hit them and usually get the kill. And another thing about her corrupted state is she gets this ball of energy put around her, and it's not like a force field or anything like that, but when enemies are in that field, they are damaged, and that's really helpful when, I guess you could say, stealing a kill from someone. Say like there's 2 people going after the one person, and they might have done all the damage. You could walk by, and that orb that's put around her can damage them enough to get the kill. So, oopsie. Anyways, yeah, so it's pretty ridiculous. And there's her corruption. Attacking using the skill can deal up to 20 damage per second, and that's that field that I was telling you guys about. And then it also, I didn't even know this myself because I didn't read this, but it steals health from nearby enemies, which is pretty ridiculous. And I've been using her a lot, so, but I feel like when the full game comes out, they should definitely like make some story only characters maybe, and then just some PvP characters, because if you're really good with Galilea, you just absolutely wreck people, and it's honestly pretty ridiculous. Like I've gone like 16-1 in a match, and like really not even trying. So yeah, well that's my opinion on Galilea. I'll be making a gameplay with her shortly.